Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to the channel. Jesse talks all things TDCJ and military. Of course, I'm your host, Jesse. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, kick back, hydrate with me. Let's get started. Let me apologize first off. I know it's been a minute, actually 3 weeks since I posted my last video. Guys, it's been absolutely crazy busy at work. Trying to run through classes, bare minimum of instructors, just doing what we can to get by. And I got to thinking about that. I said, I wonder how TDCJ is dealing with this right now. Summertime is always the absolute worst time to work at a penitentiary. It's hot. There's no air conditioning. I was talking to a couple of people back home, and down in the Beaumont area, I heard it was around 117 heat index. Like, man, that should be illegal per the laws of nature. But apparently that's how it is, man, and they're having to deal with it. That brought me on to today's topic. I had a viewer ask me about cell searches, and the question was in regarding why would officers who are doing cell searches take items from inmates that they're allowed to have? Well, good point. There's quite a few reasons to that. I'm going to propose a hypothetical scenario to you guys. I'm going to run through it. I want to hear how any one of you would have reacted to it. So, cell searches, why are they done? Well, duh, make sure that they're not supposed to have shit that they ain't supposed to have, right? No, that's one of them. Another one is to make sure that they're supposed to have the things that they're supposed to have that they have, aka a mattress, pillow, blanket. I'm talking in regards to segregation. Gen Pop, I don't know. I didn't work that shit. You guys know me. I was a seg boss. Make sure that they're supposed to have the things that they have. A lot of times, whenever you go into turnout, you would get a list of the cells that you were supposed to search. Let's just pretend me and my partner, Officer Timothy, who's rookie, breaking in, we're assigned D-Pod. We're supposed to search cells 4, 5, 6, and 7. Cool. Got it, LT? No big deal. Let's hydrate and we'll get on with those searches. One of the big things that you're looking for when you're doing those cell searches, contraband. What is contraband? Everyone thinks drugs, dope, knives, weapons, shanks. No, they're part of it. Contraband is a very broad description. Definition per TDCJ of contraband: anything that has been altered from its original state or its original intended use. Scenario: I buy a Gatorade bottle. It has Gatorade in it. I drink the Gatorade. Bottle's empty. I fill it up with water. I drink water out of it. That's contraband. It was intended to be drank with the Gatorade inside it and then thrown away. Boom. Right then and there, I just introduced contraband into the facility. Let's take, I get some mail in. All right? Pretending I'm an inmate. I get some mail in. I read my letter. Cool. I take the letter, I stuff it back up in its envelope. I'm going to keep that. That's mine. It's my personal property. I get a book from the law library. I take part of the envelope, tear a little piece of strip off of it. That's my bookmark. I put that inside that book. That's marking the page. Uh-oh. I just took that letter, altered it from its intended use. The bookmark, the book, and the letter with its contents are now allowed to be confiscated. The Academy teaches policies and procedure. They teach it in a black and white world, meaning black ink going onto white paper. This is what shall be done. Cool. What they don't teach are ramifications that come from it. So, scenario time. Let's pretend put yourself in with my shoes right here. Officer Carter, Officer Timothy, new boot. We're patrolling D-Pod. We're making our rounds. We're pulling the guys out of the cells. We got them put in the day room. We got them put in the outside rec. We're fortunate enough, we had a couple of guys didn't even want to go into the day room. We got a little bit of a break. We decide, hey, let's go ahead and do some of these cell searches. Let's try to get them knocked out early. You can't search a cell with an inmate in it. You can't just pull the inmate out and say, hey, I'm sorry, I almost said that. Hey, you stand right there. He has to be in a secure location. Usually the best way to do it was when they were either in the day room or in the outside rec. You didn't want to do it in the shower because they were only supposed to be in the shower for about 10 minutes. Yeah, whatever. Best time was in the day room. So, got the guy in the day room. We're going to start with cell number 4. Cool. All right. So what we know about contraband, we've already defined that. Roll the door. Officer Carter punches the button, looks back at Pickett. Roll 4. Door rolls. Slide it open. Step inside. What do we see? Inside the sink, there's a little bit of water, a soaking wet pair of socks, a little green bar of soap. Looks like we're trying to do some laundry here. Okay. Look on around the cell. We see a book sitting on the bed. The book has a piece of toilet paper sticking out from it. Okay. We pick it up. We realize toilet paper is being used as a bookmark. Cool. Set the book back down on the bunk. Look back around to the inmate table. Bottle. Bottle has a Gatorade label on it. It's about a quarter of the way full with some water. All right. Let's start doing our cell search. Officer Carter and Officer Timotelli, they're by the book. They're RoboCops. Policy. Here we go. Inmates aren't supposed to do laundry. They're prohibited from doing it. Every week they get their necessities. Socks, underwear, upper, lower. A couple of little bars of soap, a razor, some toilet paper. Not supposed to wash it themselves because the soap is designed to be used and by definition to wash the body. Looks like it's being used to clean these socks off. Contraband. I'm taking those socks. I'm taking whatever else is in the sink. Found a pair of boxers. I'm taking that soap as well. Got it. The book. Because there's some toilet paper in there being used as a bookmark. Not supposed to use that at all. Well, where'd the toilet paper come from? The toilet paper came from the roll that's sitting on the countertop next to the inmate's water bottle. Because they're all connected, chain of evidence, I'm taking the bookmark and I'm taking where it came from. I'm taking that roll of toilet paper. That bottle, there's no Gatorade in there, no sports drink. Clearly it's water. It's been altered from its original use, not designed for that. I'm taking that away. We take the socks, the underwear, the soap, the toilet paper, the bookmark that was being used, and that bottle. We're moving that stuff from the cell. Cell search complete. We're moving on. Got it. Boom. Job done. Inmate. Inmate was at visitation. While in the visitation, he's getting a visit from his brother's half-sister's cousin-in-law's best friend, Pookie Bear, who says that his sister, unfortunately, has been the victim of some domestic violence by her live-in boyfriend. This is not what the offender wanted to hear. They were best friends. He hasn't seen her in quite a few years, ever since he's been locked up. It's hot. He returns back to his cell. Gets in there. Goes to reach for his water bottle. It's gone. Gets his bearings. Looks over at the sink. The socks that he was about to put on, because he's been wearing the same pair of socks for the last 3 days, they're gone. The soap that he was about to use to wash himself after he found out everything that's going on, that's gone too. Looks over at his bunk where the book that he had been trying to read, because that was the only escape that he had from the situation, it ain't there neither. Seaman Timotelli, not paying very good attention, took the book along with the bookmark and the roll of toilet paper. Oh, and the guy who's on a high fiber diet, guess what he is to do? He's got to do his business. Guess what's not in the cell? Toilet paper. Been confiscated for contraband. He absolutely loses his shit. Starts beating, banging. Boom. Going crazy. Officer Carter and Officer Timothy, it's getting close to the end of their shift. They're like, oh, what the hell's wrong with that guy? We're just gonna let this fly. Night shift comes in. They get ready to start doing rounds. Inmate tries to talk to the officer on night shift. Unfortunately, he's pretty upset. Officer on night shift don't know anything that's going on. Officer Timothy, wow. Inmate doesn't care. All he sees is a gray CO. He thinks we're all connected. Doesn't know or care that we've all gone home. Wants to know where all this shit is. Tells him about what's going on. Night shift officer is like, yeah, whatever, man. Contraband. You got it confiscated. Inmates thinking, I'm going to see Carter and this other shit healed tomorrow. Nope. It was their end of their 4-day shift. Next shift, Officer Carter, Officer Timothy are off. Shift 2-2 takes over. Brand new set of floor bosses are taken in. Tries to ask him what's going on. By this point, his patience is beyond stretched thin. They don't know nothing. They think he's just being a shitheel. 4 days goes by. He can't wait to see Carter and Timothy. Guess what? They ain't in D-Pod. They're working Bravo. He won't see him again for, shit, who knows? Maybe another couple of months. You think he's forgot about that situation? Nope. He's let it fester and let it burn and let it build. And the next time the Carter comes in there, he may have Timothy. It may be Timothy by himself with Officer Google Eyes. Who knows? He remembers. Officers don't. And here he is ready to unleash on them. And you're like, what is going on? All because they were following the policy to the letter of the law. Let that soak in. That's an example of what happens if a CO sticks to the policy, does the job to which they're required, and that's an example of what can happen. Did that happen? Maybe. Now, hold up. We got a time machine. We're going to go back in time one day when that happened. Inmate gets pulled out by utility boss. Inmate's in visitation. Inmate's still getting the same kind of bad news. Officer Carter, Officer Timothy, getting ready to do the cell search. We walk in. See a pair of socks. What is that? That's some of the soap that they're supposed to use to wash themselves. He's using it to wash these clothes. You know what? Man's got to do what man's got to do. Look over at the little inmate tabletop. We got a bottle. It's got some water in it. Water bottle. Okay, cool. Inmate trying to stay hydrated. Looking around. Book. Take the book. Flip through the pages. Don't see anything in it. Piece of toilet paper hanging out. Obviously is a bookmark. Carter sets it back down on the book. On the book. Carter sets it back down on the bed. We're good to go. Cell search is complete. Carter's getting ready to walk out with Officer Timothy. Supervisor Jones just happens to be making the rounds, conveniently as Carter and Timothy are getting ready to walk out. Jones says, what y'all doing inside this cell? Carter, hey Sarge, I'm just doing a cell search. Jones looks in. Jones sees the socks with the soap, sees the bottle with the water, sees a book on the bed with the bookmark hanging out, sees this stuff as contraband. You guys done with this cell search? We're done with it, Sarge. Okay. Carter shuts the door, goes on about it. About an hour and a half later, getting ready to go on the break, get a call on the radio, report to the supervisor's office. We get there. There's a write-up waiting for Officer Carter and Officer Timothy for doing an improper cell search and allowing contraband to be inside the inmate cell. Doesn't matter what it's there for. Carter tries to plead his case. Timothy being new, all he can say is, well, Officer Carter said that was good. Carter's on his third write-up for not doing proper cell searches, for allowing inmates to keep stuff that he feels like they should have, but because it's a violation of policy, he's been written up for it. because it's his third write-up, Carter is resigning. Going on disciplinary procedures. He's done with it. Timothy goes on his 4 days off. It's time to come back for the next shift. We'll say it's Wednesday. Timothy's not present. Why? Timothy, while breaking in with his training officer, Officer Carter, realizes if he can get in trouble for something like this, and I'm already getting in trouble, this is just going to get worse. What's he doing? He's gone down to the temp agency. He's applied to go to work at one of the factories and the plants. Now, segregation that was supposed to have 14 officers to run properly, they're down 2, plus the amount of call-ins from that. Now, let's get into real life. Did either one of those incidents happen? No. No, they didn't. Who's Timothy? That's just a name that I like to use sometimes whenever we're having a pretend individual. So, on one side of the box, we got RoboCop, we got policy. This side of the box, we got real life situation. Man's got to do what man's got to do to get by. In between that is the CO. CO has to make a decision. You going to stick with that side? You going to stick with this side? Justify your actions. Kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Folks, that was every freaking day working there. It's just how it was, man. What did I do? When I first started, I was RoboCop. Man, I'd throw shit out of those cells. They weren't allowed. They'd come back in. It'd be bare to the walls. I was trying to rip the freaking bunk out if it looked like a screw was loose missing on it. And what happened with that? Man, I couldn't pull an inmate out of the room without him ready to jump on me. The other side, you start letting shit slide, here come the write-ups. And here's Carter in, getting talked to by the sarge, by the lieutenant. Why didn't you do a proper cell search? Well, XYZ is what's going on. What's policy say? At that point, you're putting your career in with it. Add on a lot of that crap that went on, that leads up to why I resigned. If you guys are interested in why I officially resigned, I got a video on that. So, put yourself in those shoes. You're getting ready to shake the cell down. You got your break-in partner. What you gonna do? You gonna let them keep the stuff that by policy they're not allowed to have? You're gonna take the stuff that they have because they're trying to get by and trying to survive. Make your own decisions. Let me know what you would do. Folks, I really appreciate y'all sticking with me. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I'm going to leave for the next week. May do a couple of impromptu videos since I got all the time in the world to myself and I don't really have a whole lot to do. Finally, for the last month. Oh, man, it's just been turn and burn. So we'll see what's what with that. I'll try to come up with some other stuff on there. If you guys got any questions, as always, ask. I'll do my best to get an answer. Look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Y'all stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated. Carter's out.